My name is Ian and welcome to Planted. I'm on a mission to help you have more success growing plants. In this episode, I'm going to give you a mid-April courtyard tour and show you all the fantastic plants that are growing now. When you get into gardening, it's very easy to get swept away by the books and the internet and pictures and stories from friends. But I'm here to tell you now that April is a wonderful time to get going, get started. In summer, lots of people pass my courtyard and they talk about the growth and the plants and the flowers and the fragrance. And I tell them one thing when they ask me, how do I do it? And that is that I start in March and April. I get things going, I make a plan, and I start chipping away at the list of jobs that needs to be done. Today, we're going to have a really close look at all those things that are in the ground, about to explode with vitality and vigorous growth. We're in mid-April and the sun is up, blue sky is out, and the frosts are nearly behind us. The beech tree came through the winter very well. Sometimes it will lose lots of its leaves, but this year it retained a large proportion, which gives just another layer of interest to the plants that we have in the planted courtyard. I'm really pleased to say that this fig has set quite a substantial crop of the Breber fig. This is an early crop that you don't get every winter. I don't get every winter, but they're set in early spring and they ripen in midsummer. So I'm optimistic that this might be a bumpy year for figs. The ones I picked from this tree last year were truly delicious. I think it's because the plant is now 4 or 5 years old. Maybe it gets hardier, maybe it just has a lot more energy it can draw from its rather substantial roots. Either way, that is definitely a win. Now this is a very basic request. We are in mid-April and it might seem a little premature to start digging and planting, but now's a great time, and do get your water system set up. If it's an automatic system, you can have your contractors come out and prepare it. Mine's just a hose. Now this is my Wisteria, and I think it's quite possible that my Black Dragon Wisteria might actually have some flowers this year. Either way, I'll be able to determine if it is Black Dragon or if it's a no-name seedling and I was completely duped. This is the fig that was featured in a video on wrapping fig trees. When you wrap a plant, you don't really keep it in a warmer environment, or maybe a little bit warmer, but what you do is prevent it from drying out. That's got nice new buds on it. Now last year I grew a plant called Escultia, grew it from seed, and this is one of the reasons why I don't excessively mulch, because that's a seedling that's free to me this year. It's a good idea to get down on your knees and have a look and see what's growing. This is a wonderful plant. It's a tall grass called a Ronda Donux, and it will have very tall, 8-foot high, beautifully variegated, very fast-growing spikes that will point to the heavens. I'm a big fan of a cold frame. It's not as glorious as a greenhouse, but come springtime it lets you get plants acclimated to the weather, and there'll be a lot more plants put into this cold frame before it disappears, probably in mid-May. I've got figs that are growing in there, there's dahlia, there's delphinium, there's all sorts of good stuff. I put this plant in this location last year. This is the golden hop. Last week, only 7 days ago, it had 3-inch shoots, and here we are with a foot to 18-inch shoots long in that short period of time. That will get trained up and over the greenhouse to give it a little bit of shade. Greenhouse is collecting all sorts of plants that went through last winter, and also a few new plants. There's hedychium, figs, there's some more dahlia in here. I've got a really nice hibiscus I'll show you soon. Here we have the salvia that was featured in a previous video. In just a matter of weeks it's already started to put on lots of growth. There's a plant pot already planted and growing, ready to go out in the springtime. This is a very nice dahlia that I thought died, but as you can see there, it's got some shoots. So that's good news. Greenhouses are great, but they absolutely have to vent. If you don't have a vent, they'll get way too hot. and you'll start cooking the plants that are inside. Now, I should have mentioned this before. This is a Lilium regale. It's quite a sizable bulb that you plant, but Liliums are truly splendid. I relocated them to this spot. They were in a different area last year, and I'm going to interplant with these my dahlias, so I'll have dahlia flowers and lily flowers. So that's the garden. It's coming together. As ever, it looks quite bare and a little bit stark. Oh yeah, this is a plant called Disporum. I just spied this out the corner of my eye. Lots of shoots in there, very luxurious, very tropical looking. And be careful with those shoots because they can snap off quite easily. I found that much to my disappointment. So the plants that I showed you today are plants that are in the ground, actively growing, and they will grow incredibly quickly and fatten out and fill out. So thank you for watching. Please tell your friends, tell your family. It's never too soon. Happy planting.